Am I the bad friend for being honest? I will try not to make this too long, but there are backstories that are relevant. I, 34F, recently went through a friend breakup. We had been friends since 6th grade. We grew up together in the same church and school that was with the church. We stayed in touch with each other and always picked up where we left off even after she moved several states away. So, backstory. I was in a very toxic on and off relationship for many years. Had a kid with him, we were really young, early 20s, we had a lot of growing up to do, lots of trauma and rough home lives for the both of us didn't help us. So I left him when my daughter was months old. Best thing I could have done at the time. I remained a single mom for 10 years and focused on healing, going to therapy and trying to reconnect with God. My friend, we'll call her Joyce for the sake of the story, married very young. I think she was 18 when she got married. No proposal, engagement party, wedding, or anything. Not even a ring. She was a member of the armed forces and was going on deployment, and from the way she told the story she was coerced into marriage. If you love me, then prove it. Let's go to City Hall right now kinda situation. They had lots of problems throughout the years. Infidelity, drugs, and rumors of him hanging out at strip clubs and paying for prostitution, verbal, emotional and physical abuse. She confided in me as I would confide in her while I was trying to co-parent. It was very petty and lots of stress. One day many years ago, I told her she should leave after she told me she found out he had been cheating on her again. She said she wanted to wait until they were married for 10 years so she would be entitled to his pension. At the time, that meant staying for 6 more years. She had 1 kid by him already and was pregnant with the second due soon. What could I say? Seems like she had 6-year plan in place. Time went on and she had 2 more kids by him. That 4 total now. While she was pregnant with her last one, I of course go to her baby shower. After the baby shower she said her husband will call Tom, said that if he would have recognized me he would have kicked me out. He never liked me for whatever reason. I think it's because he knew I was a good friend and he wanted to isolate her. He always told her he didn't want me around her. The weekend after the baby shower I go to help her nest as baby was due very soon. I even stopped at the store to pick up milk for her kids like she asked me to. When she called to ask about the milk, her and Tom were arguing. I asked if everything was okay and if it was still a good time. Mind you, she lives an hour away from me and I was already 10 minutes away. She said everything was fine, that she could have whoever she wanted in the house and there was nothing he could say. Shortly after I arrived, I offered to drop off her Emil at home since her son, Joyce's husband, was sleeping. My friend said no, he needs to get up and be useful for once. I said okay. He storms out of the room like a bat out of hell. Puts his fist in my face while my daughter is on my lap and says, I don't like you, you're not welcome in my house. You better too, and I better not catch you here again. She told me she understood if I didn't want to be her friend anymore. I said I was your friend before he came into the picture. I'm not going to let him break up our friendship. I love you too much. This was in 2022. This is important for later. Fast forward to 2024. I pack up and move away to another state. I felt I needed a fresh start. I had gotten married in 2020, he got deported with no hope of returning. I decided to be celibate in 2020. My daughter's father, who ended up having a child, playing house with someone briefly, that was nothing but drama from the start. It ended very quickly. While living in another state, my daughter's father came to visit. Long story short, after 10 years we reconciled. We got back into church, where we met when I was in 4th grade, attend faithfully, did counseling. It's not perfect, but we've been back together for over a year now and we're making God the center of our relationship. I told this to my friend Joyce when we first reconciled and she was happy, or at least she pretended to be. She said we're meant to be and it was only a matter of time before we got back together. Over the year of our reconciliation with ex, Joyce and I have had many conversations on the phone. She would vent and cry and I would try my best to encourage her and uplift her in prayer. She finally filed for divorce. Not long after the 10-year mark. Remember pension. She confessed how she wished her husband would apologize, go to counseling and start going to church. I encouraged her to pray for him and to invite him to church. She said no, it was pointless. But she had claimed to be happy that my ex now current partner reconciled. December 2024. She said we needed to plan something soon together and catch up and to invite a friend, we'll call Deborah, we also grew up with in church and school. We were close when we were younger but not so much as adults. I had a falling out with her and she never bothered to stay in touch with Joyce much either but only started making minimal effort recently. I planned a girls' night in at my place. I was going to cook, decorate, have gifts and goodies bags for both Joyce and Deborah. I didn't ask for them to contribute anything but their presence. All seemed fine at first. Joyce went behind my back and told Deborah how she didn't feel comfortable coming to my house because of my recent reconciliation. I didn't tell Deborah as we aren't that close. We don't give each other life updates. Joyce wasn't very aggressive with me for my lack of updating Deborah on my life. I told her she was being unreasonable. Why should I update her? I asked her, did she update you when she started dating someone? Did she tell you she was engaged? Did she tell you or invited you to the wedding? The answer was no to every single question. So why do you think she's entitled to updates on my personal life? She said I was being unfair. She then tried to paint me as if I was holding a grudge against Deborah. I said it's not a grudge I forgave for and listed off the things I forgave her for. She said I needed to put more effort and I said I did by inviting her over for a cozy holiday night, and if there's a lack of effort it's both ways. Deborah never reaches out to me or invites me anywhere. I don't take it personally, I just know that it isn't a friendship that either one of us prioritizes and I'm fine with that. She dropped it. Or so I thought. The next phone conversation I had with Joyce, she told me that she didn't feel comfortable coming to my home for the event that I planned because she feared that my current partner would hit her or kick her out of our home. I told her she was being ridiculous. There was no way that was going to happen. I told her my partner had already agreed to leave the house so that I can be here with the girls for our girls' night, and even if he did stay home, he has no reason to attack my friend like that. I truly believe she was projecting because of the situation that happened when her husband put his fist in my face and kicked me out of their home. I thought that had eased her mind, but it didn't. She then said she didn't feel comfortable going into a home that was evidence of a toxic relationship. I asked her what she meant by that and she couldn't give me a clear answer. I said that again, I thought she was being ridiculous because my current relationship isn't physically abusive. They aren't holes punched in the walls, broken glass or anything to indicate that our home is not safe. Her next excuse for not being able to go to the holiday night and for the girls was that she was trying to save money to get her kids gifts. I told her she didn't need to bring anything. I wasn't asking her to bring anything. All she needed to bring was herself and that's it. But she still found some way to get out of it. I told her I was going to cook. I told her that I wanted to do this for her and Deborah. I was going to cook, going to get gifts, decorate the house and just have a nice night. The next day in the group chat, Deborah suggested that we move the event to Joyce's apartment. I was obviously bothered by that, but I didn't even respond in the group chat. Joyce then texted in the group chat, yes, I think it's better if it's at my place, but you can still cook and bring all the stuff that you were going to bring. I completely ignored the group chat. I didn't respond. I didn't say anything. I was just over it after being told that I needed to make effort, then making effort, and then my plans are being hijacked. I was completely pissed off. Months went by and those plans never came to fruition, and neither did any other plans. No one else made an effort outside of the effort that I made in December. Joyce and I have several conversations, and I expressed to her how I was bothered that I felt like she went behind my back and told Deborah the details of my reconciliation, and how she expressed to her first that she wasn't comfortable with it. And then for her to have Deborah message the chat and change the plans to Joyce's house. There was clearly a conversation prior to the text, because no one is just going to change the plans and move them to someone else's house without a conversation first. She then mentioned how she couldn't believe that I reconciled with my daughter's father after I told her to leave her husband years ago. I said, how could you compare the two? Our relationship was toxic, yes, but I left early on. I didn't stay for 10 years in hopes of getting a paycheck, plus we weren't married. I also thought it was unbelievable for her to even say that. What kind of friend would I have been? Had I not told her to leave her husband, who was constantly cheating on her, bringing drugs in the house, bringing weapons in the house, and putting their kids at risk? I told her she couldn't even compare the two, and it was even ridiculous for her to compare the two. This got us back into the whole conversation of forgiving Deborah for the past and being adults and everything like that. I again told her that I did forgive her for all the things that she did to me in the past, and that was why I made an effort and invited her to the get-together. Well, Joyce must have called Deborah and twisted what I said, because a few days after that phone call, Deborah posts on Facebook that she is amazed how people can give a grace to a person from their past relationship and forgiveness and is able to move forward, but couldn't give that same grace and forgiveness to a friend who genuinely was trying to change. Then she proceeded to post that it was funny that all of a sudden people want to talk about God and go to church, yet forget the foundation of their religion is forgiveness. I obviously knew that post was about me, but being the petty queen that I am, I put a love reaction on the post. So I decided to make a little Facebook post of my own. What did I write? A simple statement, but it packed a punch. I wrote, always be careful what you say and how you say it, because there will always be someone who has a hidden agenda that will try to twist what you said to manipulate the narrative. Never trust the words of a bitter and spiteful person. Honestly, that post could have been about anything or anyone. I thought I kept it pretty general. But if the shoe fits, someone is going to put it on, and who put it on? Joyce. She called me that day at around 10 p.m. I was already in bed, half asleep, when I saw her car come in. I didn't answer. I told myself I would call her back tomorrow. She left a message and told me to call her again. I didn't, 'cause I was going to sleep. I then wake up in the morning around 6 a.m. to a very long text message. The message basically was saying that I was projecting on her and how I've been nothing but a bad friend to her all these years. She said I have been nothing but a dark cloud in her life, and that I was trying to control and manipulate her. She also told me that I was spewing hate toward her. Not sure how, but it was a lot of lies and nonsense in that message, and I really wanted to clap back hard, but I resisted because, again, I am trying to grow, I am trying to heal and just be a better person overall, so I simply texted her, I love you, Joyce. I wish you nothing but the best, and I hope you have a great life. 20+ years of friendship came to an end in a text. I am sad, and I did see this coming for a couple of years, but I thought I could love her and show up for her through the marriage drama and show her love. But clearly I wasn't valued. My friendship was taken for granted. I ended up blocking Joyce and Deborah and all social media platforms and on my phone. I'm still hurt over it, and I don't quite understand fully what happened, but I'm more or less at peace with it. So am I the bad friend?